We've been requested to give a talk, so where should we start? Should we jump straight into pulling together all the slides for the presentation? Absolutely not. We need to prepare this talk so it will be a success. The first important decision we must ask is, who are we going to be talking to? The next question is about the purpose of the talk. Is it to educate, impress, motivate, or to entertain? The next considerations all focus on the mechanics of the speech. Is it at the end of the day when everyone is sleepy, or will it kick off proceedings at the start of the day? How long do we need to talk for? How do we need to dress for this talk? There are so many items we need to consider before going anywhere near the slide deck. Yet this is just the opposite of what most people do. They spend all their preparation time putting their slides together, do no rehearsal, and then proceed to practice on their audience. This is definitely not recommended if you want to be successful. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center in Akasaka in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking. So we'll be at the forefront, the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. Co-working space is really taking off in Tokyo. According to CBRE, in Tokyo's 23 wards, the co-working space counted for only 0.5% of office space prior to 2009. Today, it accounts for 7.9%. WeWork Japan's chief executive, Chris Hill, said that we feel the opportunity is big enough here that we can grow faster than anywhere else. WeWork Japan is a joint venture between WeWork and SoftBank, and opened its first location in Japan in February. Their aim is to expand the number of users to 10,000 by the end of the year in 11 different locations in 4 major cities. Large companies like Sony, Panasonic, Honda are trying to adapt to the digital era by joining up with startups, hiring external talent, and creating a more flexible working environment. WeWork fits the bill for them. Enterprise members account for about 1/4 of WeWork's global member base, and they are trying to use SoftBank's client network to expand that number in Japan. In other news, Japan's job availability improved to a fresh 54-year high in September. There were 1.64 openings for every job seeker. Think about that when you were trying to recruit someone. The job unemployment rate fell to 2.3%, near the lowest level recorded since the early 1990s. The percentage of people in the working ages of between 15 and 64 with jobs rose to 77.3%, the highest number since this data first became available in 1968. The percentage of women employed also rose to a record high of 70.3%, with men at 84.1%. This is episode number 59, and we are talking about the best way to prepare for your presentation. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. Before jumping straight into the slides to build your presentation, identify your likely audience. Who will be staring back at you when you get on your feet to present? It might be an internal meeting report to your team, a presentation to your immediate boss or to the senior executives of the firm. It might be a public talk for your industry. How knowledgeable are the attendees on the subject matter? Are you facing a room full of experts, or are they amateurs, or a mixture of both? What about the age ranges, and what is the gender mix? Next, consider what is the purpose of the speech. Are you there to pass on relevant information, to inform your audience of some facts and figures? Are you there to entertain them, to make people laugh and to boost morale? Is persuasion your objective, to sell them on your vision, idea, product, or proposition? Are you trying to motivate them to take action, to rally behind your flag, storm the barricades? How long do we have to speak? Many may think that a short speech is easier than a longer one. Depending on the objective, the degree of difficulty may be higher with the shorter speech. Trying to persuade others or to motivate others usually requires solid evidence to bring the audience around to our way of thinking. In a shorter speech, well, there's less opportunity to pour on the evidence. Every word counts, and so we need to really prepare well. What time of the day will we speak? After lunch? After dinner? 2 tough speaking slots. Consuming meals and alcohol will sap the audience's energy and attention. If it is an evening affair where everyone is standing around and your speech is all that separates the masses from the food and drink, expect they will be distracted. In Japan, in such cases, audiences are usually merciless about chit-chatting right through your speech. If you attended one of these events, you recall there's a low roar of an ascending passenger jet coming from the back of the room during the speech as people blatantly ignore the speaker. How will you dress for success? All eyes will be on you. Given we absorb a good deal of your message through body language, how you present yourself makes a big difference. In Japan, it's rare to be overdressed for the occasion. Usually it is better to be more formal and dressed than casual. Be careful that your bow-tied, adventurous pocket chief or bright scarf does not compete with your face for the attention of the audience. Where will you stand, or will you sit down? If you're using a screen, stand to the audience left of the screen. We want the audience to look at our face and then look at the screen. We read from left to right, so your face first, then the screen is a natural order. Many people, though, have no clue about this, so they stand on the opposite side. Don't make that amateur mistake. Japan loves to have the speaker sit down at a table with a microphone stand so you can drone on and on and on like all the other speakers and put everyone to sleep. This is partially their regard for hierarchy because standing above others and looking down on everyone implies you are superior to the audience. It just felt better to be seated on the same level as the audience. It is also showing polite regard for the speaker on the basis that you'll get tired having to stand, and so please be comfortable and sit down. Pass up all opportunities to sit. The people advising you are not professionals in speaking, and their advice is worthless. You will often hear Japanese speakers mount a rostrum and say, "Excuse me for speaking from this elevated position." It's a good idea to apologise for standing or not. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment, be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience. Everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. If you want to sell more and do it more easily, do the Sales Advantage course. If you can't build trust, no sale. Can't design excellent questions to understand the client's needs? No sale. Can't present the solution convincingly? No sale. Can't handle objections properly? No sale. Can't close? No sale. Master the sales process by doing the Sales Advantage course now in either Japanese or English. Welcome back. It is much better if you can stand. This is simply because you're more easily seen by your audience, especially those seated at the rear. You can use all of your body language to bolster the points you are making. If you need to apologize for standing above everyone, then do it. But keep standing no matter how many do-gooders try to get you to sit down. If you are forced to sit, then sit forward as high as possible in the seat. Use your voice modulation, gestures, and facial expressions to help convey your message. What will you do to control your nerves before you speak? Usually for more formal speeches, you'll be somewhere in a holding position, either seated in the same room, maybe behind a curtain or to the side of the room. While waiting, your pulse will start to race. You will likely begin to perspire, and the fight or flight chemical cocktail in your body will now start to kick in. If you have some space where you cannot be seen, then striding around, burning off that excess energy will harmonize your energy output and reduce your nervousness. Following this, take deep, slow breaths from your lower diaphragm to help reduce your pulse rate. If you can't do that, then just work on the breathing to lower your heart rate and get your nerves under control. In the hours prior to your speech, try to drink water to get fluids into your system. Also make sure there is some room temperature water without ice prepared for you during the talk. Iced water constricts the throat, so we don't want that when we are talking. Select a title for the talk that creates curiosity. Isolate out the key points you want to make in the talk between, well, make it 3 to 5 points. Think of a strong opening that will grab everyone's attention. People are easily distracted, so you have to break through with a grabber start. Come up with 2 closes for your speech, one for the immediate end of the talk and a second one that you'll use after the finish of the Q&A. We don't want the randomness of the last question to define the final impression of your talk. We want to end on a strong message for our audience, which we control. Try to incorporate these ideas into your speech preparation. Most importantly, also allow time for doing a rehearsal of your talk. You will find out which bits flow well, which need some rethinking. You will also be better able to gauge your speaking speed and speaking length. This is important if you have to speak within a very tightly controlled time limit. Don't worry that you may vary from what you were practicing when you are giving the actual talk. Only you know what was supposed to happen, and if you change it, keep that information to yourself. Planning and rehearsal need to go together and need to be given sufficient time to be effective. Most people just assemble their slides instead. It's a big mistake, and one you can simply avoid by adopting some of the ideas shared today. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It is awesome value, so check it out. In episode number 60, we are talking about the sales success ecosystem. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku, onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you, and we have only one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.